So you're looking at the one card that Hattie Thorne, where I get a lot of my tarot cards from. She's in the UK. And when she sends me a deck, she pulls a card and I hope this resonates. She writes it on a note. And it's so interesting because I was just talking about the strength card. And here we are, August 1st, right, in Leo season. And the card that she pulls for me is the strength card. I hadn't told her anything about a conversation that I had regarding the strength card, but I thought this was another moment where I could show you how everything is connected. But I just wanted to show you the example of another synchronicity and just how everything is connected. Not only that, I felt like through just my, sitting here meditating on the read and just kind of getting myself into my mode, my zone, this was calling to me that this is what we need to talk about. This goes hand in hand with something that I had just listened to a few minutes ago, the story about the 16-year-old lifeguard who, it's a big thing right now, the strength and the bravery that it took for him to save that young boy. It's so interesting, the metaphors that could be used with that particular event along with this card. Again, everything going hand in hand. I feel like the reading might be based off today. And I don't know. I have pre-shuffled all my cards, but it's just through my intuition and the synchronicities that happened with this card and where we're at in the energy and the Lionsgate portal that's coming up on 8/8. I felt strongly about that card that had been sitting on my table. But anyways, and I just thought it was crazy amazing that she had chosen that card for me. And I had just been talking about this card and what it meant. But hi, I'm Jen. Before I start, thanks for coming to Lady Tarot 911. And let's go ahead and get into the read and find out what the message is. So I just shuffled and I'm going to go ahead and I've already Palo Santo'd, so we're good there. Okay. So first card out for you. Oh, look at that. What's at the bottom of the deck? Growth. Okay, so there's an opportunity that is requiring strength of you. And it doesn't matter. This is a feminine energy, which all of you have, no matter if you're masculine or feminine who's watching. This is an opportunity to expand and grow. Look at this, how interesting this is. Look at grow and grow. Out of all these cards, these two, speaking of growth, this one, I think, this talks about courage. This talks about compassion, calm over chaos, which a lot of that video about the lifeguard, that reminded me of that, how strategic that lifeguard was using his training and his skills against that, the tide. And patience is your strength. Tame the beast within, and the power is gentle, or true power is gentle. And that emanates what the Empress is. So I think that potentially you are in this, you or your person, whoever you're here for, is in an energy of great growth right now. But what is backing that is also the knowledge and understanding that whatever this opportunity is that's coming up is going to take a lot of strength, is going to take fortitude, is going to take tenacity, I'm hearing, motivation, consistency. I feel like this is a new beginning to actually put work and effort into beginning this growth, creating something for yourself, whether that creation is in just your mindset, in recreating what you believed before or what you believed about yourself. But this creation is going to create huge expansion. Now, I feel like Jupiter is out of Cancer, but Jupiter is the planet of great expansion. Jupiter Saturn trine is actually August 31st, where Jupiter forms an exact trine with Saturn, which is about blending growth with structure as the month closes out. So throughout the month of August, which I was intending this read to be an August read, it is about expansion, growth, creation. It is using your skills, kind of like that lifeguard, to not resist the incoming energy, no matter how challenging that is, but to flow with it. And you see on the video that lifeguard who is doing what is called, I guess, a duck dive. that was essentially, instead of resisting against the waves that were coming in, he entered into the wave to almost go with the flow and not be pulled further out. The way to obviously survive a riptide is to swim parallel, relax, stay calm, right? This talks about remaining calm, calm over chaos always. You can also use the metaphor of the water as emotion. There could be quite a bit of emotion coming up in, and you can see the ocean right there, but the planet and the water. Oh, look, there's a ship. Yeah, you're waiting for your ships to come in, but this is through expansion and through what I read. Let's see. It was in my, so maybe I need to pull that deck. Oh, look at that. So I'm shuffling and Ace of Wands. So a desire, a passion. So in the month of August, which this is a fire sign, the Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag, this desire to actually create whatever this is for you, whether it's a side hustle, a new job, a relocation, your mindset, or changing up things in a relationship. I talked about it being a new beginning. Going back to, which deck was I going to pull from? Oh, yeah. What I read on this deck right here. Okay. So this is my NLP deck, which is my neuro-linguistics programming deck. This is about how we use our neuro development and can change behavioral patterns and whatnot. But in this box, I read something that was really profound as I was meditating as well. And it said, as you move from unconscious reaction to conscious creation. I think that August is a month where that is something that's going to be very prevalent. I feel like you have this new passion for an opportunity. It could be in nurturing yourself, or this, this somebody here has this, there's a connection of something. As you can see, the fingers are connecting. There's a connection that is coming together within yourself, with a collaboration. There's some type of collaborating or co-creating, networking, some type of relationship coming together. Wills. I'm hearing wills. Why am I hearing wills? So like a battle of wills is kind of dying out and going away, and more of the feminine energy is coming in. You're going to be feeling a lot of that feminine energy, which is a lot about growth and expansion. I mean, the Empress is about birthing and taming, potentially, maybe some type of rage that you had, or fire, because the Strength card is about restraining. And I think that this is also talking about in the month of August. Sit back a little bit, duck dive into the waves of emotion, go with the flow. Don't repress your energy as you go through the month of August. In doing so, it's going to open new doors of opportunity for you, and it's going to allow, you're getting the green light essentially from the universe to move forward on whatever this new beginning, this new passion, this idea that you had. This is saying go for it. But in doing so, have a safe control. Like this says, you don't force, you master. You don't force, obviously, the waves of the ocean to do what you want. You master the maneuvering inside those waves. Was it the ocean that was training him, or was he maneuvering the ocean? They were working together in a collaboration, essentially, is the way that I look at it. They needed each other to continue the motion that they were each taking. I know that maybe sounds strange, but it must have a meaning for somebody in this energy currently, and for August. But speaking of that, moving from unconscious reaction, which would be chaos, or reacting to somebody who maybe just rages. Have you ever been in a situation where you're the bystander of some type of fight and you're just quiet on the side, and somebody is raging and you're just quiet and watching somebody else rage against that rage, and there's just the battle of wills, like I talked about, and this forming this wall, because two forces coming together creates just blunt force, right? Like blunt force trauma. There's this competing, or this battle of who's going to win, and essentially ending up where nobody does, because somebody who wins has to be able to get past that wall and that brute force, that resistance, that stopping. And I keep going back to this because it's such a good analogy. In the ocean, standing up, going against the tide, going against the waves, right? Going against any type of emotion, versus ducking down, duck diving, and going below the surface of what's going on, what's happening. Go a little deeper. The Empress is all about deeper thinking, intuition, recreating a new way of responding maybe to a situation that's upcoming, or reacting to a situation. That's where you fully master your emotions, master the waves, master the incoming fire and passion. It's great to have the passion, but if it's not controlled, if it's not harnessed in a way that is, with consistent but calculated momentum, it can get out of control. Just like a rage, two fights. But if, being a bystander, watching two people argue, yet, you're sitting back and evaluating, you're getting so much information watching two people who are so closed off to each other, obviously, who want to overpower. It's better to duck down and get under the surface of whatever is happening and control the reaction, and moving from that unconscious reaction, which will get you that wall, that brute force trauma, and moving into that conscious creation. You're creating a new way to respond, a new way to handle, a new way to maneuver your way through whatever situation this is. But I'm going to pull from that deck that I read that line from, my NLP deck. So what does this entail for the viewer who's watching? So this card and this card, I'm going to take two of them because they were the ones sticking out. So interrupting patterns, right? That's that duck diving. Every habit is a loop. Trigger, action, reward. Using pattern interrupts, you can break the cycle by introducing small, intentional disruptions to any habit you want to change. Over time, these interruptions become part of the pattern, creating lasting transformation. How perfect is that, right? Interrupting those patterns, diving into the energy flow, diving into the wave of emotion, the going beyond the resistance, going below the resistance. Interrupts those patterns. It recreates new patterns, new ways of dealing with situations or handling grievances or frustrations, tensions from others, or even within yourself. If you feel blocked, it's because there is this brute force wall that you can't seem to get past. It's because you're not interrupting and changing, delivering another reaction to the situation. Oh, turn down the volume. So diminish the power of negative thoughts by adjusting their volume. So duck diving down, turning down noise. If there is too many people in your energy or people coming at you, thoughts that are circulating in your head, there is a reason for isolation. There's a reason for quiet, because then at that point, the things that get overshadowed or the volume takes over, it creates an absence of the things that need to be heard, that need to be shown. This also says, when a critical voice arises in your mind, turn its volume down like a dial. Make it sound like a cartoon character, or even replace it with silly music. Notice how the emotional intensity fades with this shifting soundscape. And going back again to that lifeguarding, when you go underwater, it becomes quiet. It becomes a lot quieter than what's above. And it takes those moments to save yourself. That trained lifeguard, 16 years old, he turned down the volume of the rage and the chaos of the water. And he interrupted the normal riptide pattern by changing the resistance. I think that is a huge lesson for all of us, and you can use that in any type of situation in your life. There's problems with coworkers or a relationship. Let me see. What else do you want? I'm going to pull from this deck as well. This is my junk journal, Oracle junk journal. Oh, yeah, look at this. I just got this one too. What else? Focus sharpens once quiet distractions fade from view. Yes, sharpens, clarity grows. As the volume gets turned down and you interrupt the patterns, what magnifies is the solution, is the ability to find a different way, find a different reaction, feel a different emotion, hear something different within your mind, within your heart. Intuition, you have to be still, you have to be quiet to hear it, because it's only 2 seconds where you have this moment enter your mind that you need to listen to and believe. So I feel like somebody here, whether it be you or your person, is going to be faced with some situations in the month of August that require you to use some of this knowledge, maybe some of these seeds that are being planted through the energy, through this read, my read, the channeling from divine. Yeah, somebody here has been holding back, has been from you, or been withdrawn, apathetic. They just, somebody doesn't want to deal with this. They don't want to see something. They don't want to interrupt the patterns, whether this be you or somebody else. They don't want to interrupt the patterns of, they don't want to plan to change the resistance, because the resistance is all that they've known. The resistance, the drama, the chaos is all that they've known. And planning for the future, this is somebody who maybe has been bored. Somebody is bored in the situation that they're in the relationship that they're in, withdrawn from maybe who they're around. So that's a form within ourselves of turning down that noise, putting pause on a situation or a thought process. Not necessarily bad, but it does require, just like what came out, right? It requires, what's crossing it is the wands, planning, action. It does take, for there to be an interruption of the pattern, it does take this action, this passion and action. And behind it, going below the current energy, is the strength that you will find that's needed to interrupt the normal pattern. You're going to find the answer through the looking glass, the clarity that comes from this new beginning, this new step you take, this new recreation of the way that you handle things, this new reaction to a new or different action being taken to something that's happening in the situation. Let me see if I can find out maybe what the situation might be. I mean, you guys are all dealing with different different situations in your lives. And what's at the forefront for August could be, different. Obviously, it's different. It's a job for somebody, but yet a relationship for somebody else. But the underlying, the energy that is provided for no matter what your situation is going to be the same. Not forcing relationships, not forcing, jobs to continue if you're not supposed to be there, working harder and not smarter. The foundation is where August energy is starting you, a new beginning, a new foundation, a new way of even just taking one foot forward, a step in the right direction. I learned from Steve that something that's very, very important is to move the energy around you. Redesign your room, your home, your workspace. What I mean by redesign, all you have to do is move something from the place that it's been, where it was stagnant, and move it to a different place on your desk. That right there changes the energy. Those little steps, those little baby actions, just little change ups become huge altogether, right? And so try that. Wear something different than you usually do. Drive a different direction than you usually do. Go a different place for coffee. Don't get on your phone in the morning and do something different. Maybe just sit there in the silence for 10 minutes. There is this new breath of energy that's coming in for August that is going to help sustain this recreation. I was shuffling these cards and this one flew out on the floor. A windfall of good things are happening all around you. Expect some good luck to be open to all possibilities. This is opportunity. And we were talking about intuition. So through doing this, it's going to open this door for you that you haven't been able to see because you felt like you haven't had the key. Now, keys in tarot, in oracles, means opportunity. So by the recreation of how you're doing something, to change the energy up, to do it a different way, to be able to provide an opening, a passageway, right? To get a key, an opportunity, that key, that opportunity is going to unlock things that you had no idea were available to you. But the energy right now is requiring you to have the strength and requesting, right? Requesting, a lot of re's, requesting you to invest in one little baby step. Try that. Challenge yourself. I'm going to take one little baby step in the month of August. See how big of a difference that actually truly makes for you. And down at the bottom, I have of this deck, Spirit Talk. The spirit world is trying to make contact with you to let you know they're supporting you at this time. So you do have the support of the universe. You will be safe in this action because this is all about learning and ascension. When we learn, I'll just put this over here. When we learn new ways to do things, it's about growth. We talked about growing. New steps require bravery, courage, us to trust, right? And the universe, divine, God, whatever you want to call it, the energy, it backs you up, it supports you, it helps you, it brings in last minute wins, last minute saves. I talk about those all the time. I see them all around me, happening for me all the time. Now let's look at maybe what is potentially the block that is, I said I was going to try and find that out, and then I ended up with treasure chest. But, oh, you know what it is? I think one of the blocks is, even though I went off on a tangent on opportunity, for treasure chest, you can't see the outcome yet. You can't see what's in here yet. And so it makes it difficult to trust, because trust is more 5D, is more subconscious, is more within, it's internal. If you're used to 3D results and proof, that is not what's going to make this change, because this change is helping you learn to grow your intuition, grow your strength, grow your trust of divine, and learning a new way to be able to do and make that growth happen, right? Now, what could be blocking you? Like I mentioned before, I try and find out. So this is my my graffiti deck from Vibe About It. I love Rhea, and this is gorgeous. I love the purple. Well, they're huge boxes. Let me show you her box. It's kind of reminding me of my purple hair, the purple that I used to get my white. But the purple is like indigo. Indigo is the color of crown chakra, and so it's about clarity. It's about using your intuition. And so I think that that's really important. Colors, numbers, everything around you is talking to you, everything in the universe, everything means something, everything's connected. And it's just about slowing down, shutting down that noise and paying attention to it. And then your part is to take that baby step. But what could be blocking my viewers at this time? Hang on, I got to cut this down here. Sorry. I'm running out of room. Okay. So what could be blocking my viewers if this is your read, if you're resonating with this now? I believe that you manifested me here to give this read. So if you're here, this read is for you in some manner. Okay, so no plans, no goals. What did we talk about when I was saying the motivation and, potentially just laziness? I know that in July, there was a point where I was just completely down, lazy, just could not find the motivation and really had to, I actually changed up a couple things, and it boosted my energy. It gave me some new ideas, and I was able to kind of change up some things that was going, that were going on with me. So somebody here, overthinking, unmotivated, or just you don't care. You don't care because you feel like this is a done deal, but making these plans and goals for a change, if that's what you're wanting, right? The August energy is where it's going to be at. Now, again, August, Leo, strength, Leo the lion, Leo in the Wizard of Oz was about courage, right? And the empowerment. And so with the North Node and South Node shift, which just happened as well, the North Node is in Aquarius and the South Node is in Leo. So with that being said, with that shift, Leo being in the South Node is essentially where we're comfortable, and it is giving us the power and the empowerment and the courage and the bravery to make this change and do something different if what's blocking you is just that you haven't had any motivation because you think the outcome is one way. But this is telling you right here, you don't know. You think you know, but you don't know. There's something here that you don't know is on the horizon for you if you can make this move, this step, this baby step towards growth and ascension. Okay, what else could be? So no plans or goals could be blocking you. What else could be blocking my viewer at this time? Okay, these want to come together. So we'll do these two. Yassify, I thought this was immediately was pacifying with yeses. Pacifying, so if you were to use this in a metaphoric way, being exactly perfect for those around you, for a job, overdoing the making others happy instead of making yourself happy. This could be pacifying others with just always saying yes. This could be somebody who maybe you just have a really hard time saying no, and you over edit, or there's a mask, there's a filter that you use with certain people, and with other people you use a different filter or a different mask. It satisfies and pacifies the situation to being a yes person, to no matter the sacrifice to yourself. So this could be a block, having to get past that and becoming more authentic and comfortable in what you want and the power behind that, because the strength is going to come from you mastering what is blocking your progress, what is blocking the change, what is blocking the opportunities, and getting the key to being able to open this. It could be your intuition. You're not paying attention to your intuition. You're not trusting yourself. Just take that little baby step, is all I'm saying. One tiny little baby step to lifeguard your legacy, your legend of who you are, to lifeguard your finances, relationships, lifeguard for yourself. With whatever this challenge is, by taking that baby step, you are setting yourself up and protecting yourself from potential blocks in the future, from the same type of reaction, creating the same insanity pattern, the same, breaking those patterns, right? Interrupting patterns, changing the pattern. If you always say yes and you don't want to say yes to something, say no. That's a baby step. See what happens. You are supported by the universe. You think it's going to ruin everything, or you think that you're under the impression that you're not going to get what you want. And whenever this has happened with me, I actually end up getting more than I could have ever wanted because I stayed small. I limited myself. And I might have taken the baby step, but the fear is a form of resistance. It's a form of not trusting. And so then I'd pull myself back and then I'd just give up, or I would pull myself back and just not give a fuck. I mean, and you can get to that point when you're overexhausted. You could be burnt out. You could be tired of the chaos and the drama, tired of trying, tired of the games, or the fact that you keep hitting a wall, you keep hitting a wall, you keep hitting a wall, you can't get past that wall. This is saying August energy is about being able, if you can take one, this reminds me of baby blocks right here where it says new, baby blocks, baby step. One thing, change one thing, right? Change up one thing. And that, just like the Mandela effect, changes up the outcome of how it would have been, which would have been the same pattern if you did the same thing, the same cycle, the same wraparound, to I don't give a fuck. I'm going to try it the same way, can't get past that wall, can't open the treasure chest, can't plan, I get apathetic, leave me alone, I don't care. Oh boy, have I been in that cycle before. Just most recently, actually. And lastly, breaking hearts, out there dating and not giving a fuck. That's funny. That's what I just said. Have no intention of long-term commitment, but just short-term fun. Okay, so this could be a block too. Maybe you're not getting anywhere because you don't commit to yourself. That's where it starts. It's not about committing to a job, to a relationship, to anybody else. It's about committing to yourself, caring about yourself to master you, your desires, to see things clearly, to interrupt the same patterns you've been running, whatever that is, bringing in some more of that feminine energy, because this is a lot of masculine energy, right? Masculine energy. You've got 3 wands cards. You've got fire, action, and you've got 1 empress. But the empress is all 4 queens, which is the fire, the water, the air, and the pentacles, right? This is, maybe there is a empress energy who inspires you, or this empress energy is just growing within you to master and not force things into place. I can guarantee you, when you force something, you might get what you want, but it is absolutely temporary. When you force, I'm getting the beach, because we were talking about lifeguarding, I'm getting the beach image of like forcing wet sand together to make a sandcastle, right? All it takes is that water, that emotion to come in, and it knocks that foundation down, right? Until you can master your emotions, master your passion, master just being able to learn little things, little, building blocks, the baby steps, the 1 block at a time, the 1 step at a time, instead of trying to take everything on and this massive passion about all or nothing. If you don't do it, small blocks, small foundation pieces at a time, it'll come crumbling down in the one moment of a fiery, passionate rage of somebody else, a fight, an obstacle, something financial that happens, something that breaks in your house, bad news, something that comes along to interrupt the comfortability that you acquire when you have mastered something. If you have mastered it, it's not going to affect you when that water comes into, and hits your sandcastle. If you've mastered it, you'll be able to put a moat around your sandcastle. You're building yourself a moat. You're lifeguarding yourself so that when the water comes in, it dumps into the moat and your sandcastle remains, steadfast. You mastered the art of how to keep your foundation standing. Before, with bad habits, coping mechanisms, being a yes person, not caring about yourself, not caring about anybody else, hurting other people around you, hurting out there, just not giving a shit, right? This adds up. This is karmic debt. When you go out and you don't give an F about anybody else or even yourself, it creates karmic debt. And karmic debt will weigh you down and pull you back, pull your energy down. You can't ascend, and you got to go through the damn cycle again to try and figure it out. And a lot of people who don't come to these reads, who don't manifest change, who don't take baby steps, end up, and I've talked about this before, end up cycling around their whole life in the same freaking cycle because they're not getting the answer. They're not getting the clarity. Look at that, around, around, and around, and around, and around. This is the clarity for you. This is saying, yes, it's going to take action. That action is 1 baby step at a time, 1 baby block at a time. Okay, I'm going to give you a manifestation card because I think that is super resonant to this read. And I love these cards. These are the secret manifestation cards. These give the absolute best advice when manifesting. I love it. I always learn from these cards. So to help you, to give you advice, look at that. You think that's the card that universe wants me to show you? Okay, the message. So live your dreams on the inside first. The strength, right? See it in your mind and feel it in your heart until it feels completely real to you, and then it will manifest in your life. That's the quietness. That is the going within and hearing, listening, just taking some moments to shut out anything and everything, every worry, concern, to-do item on your list, every motion you need to make, everything. Sit still. And if that's something that you haven't done before, that's going to be your first step. That's going to be your building block. That is actually going to bring in an answer to you and help guide you in a different direction. And from there, it's all going to fall into place like a puzzle. You think it's all going to fall apart when it's actually all going to fall in place. I hope that helps you guys. You guys have a wonderful August, and I will see you on the next read. Take care. Bye.